The village of Oakhaven sat beside the old Whispering Falls. For many years, the village had been a happy place. The water from the falls helped their crops grow, and the big green forest gave them everything they needed. All the villagers had special marks on their skin that showed which family they came from and what their job was. Kaelan had feather marks on his forehead. He was the village storyteller. Every evening, children would sit around him with big eyes as he told them stories about their grandparents and the old days. He also liked to carve little wooden animals and people. But lately, something was wrong. The Whispering Falls were getting smaller and quieter. The crops were drying up, and everyone in the village was worried. One morning, Elder Mira called everyone to the village square. She was the oldest and wisest person in Oakhaven. The spiral marks on her arms showed she was a keeper of wisdom. "The falls are trying to tell us something," she said. "Someone must go up to the mountains to find out why the water is disappearing." A young girl named Asha stepped forward. She had wave patterns on her arms that showed she was a water keeper. Even though she was only 16, she was very good at understanding water. "I'll go," she said bravely. "You can't go alone," said Kaelan, standing up. "The mountain paths are dangerous. The old stories talk about many challenges up there." Torven, the village's best hunter, agreed. He had bear claw marks on his shoulders. "I'll come too. You'll need my strength and my knowledge of the wild places." Elder Mira blessed them and said prayers for their safety. The next morning, the whole village came to sing goodbye as the three friends started their journey. At first, the path was easy. They walked through forests they knew well. Kaelan showed Asha the trees his grandfather had marked long ago. "See the moss on this side of the tree," he said. "It always grows on the side where there's water." But as they climbed higher up the mountain, things got harder. The paths became rocky and steep. The trees looked strange and twisted. By the third day, they were high up in the clouds. The forest was full of mist, and the trees had branches that looked like skinny fingers. Torven used his hunting skills to find safe paths and caves where they could sleep. Then Asha noticed something strange. "Listen," she said. Everything was completely quiet. There were no birds singing, no insects buzzing, no wind in the trees, just silence. "My grandmother's stories talked about this," Kaelan said quietly. "We must be close to the first test." Just then, the fog in front of them started swirling and got thicker. A strange figure appeared. It looked like a person, but was see-through like a ghost. The marks on its skin kept moving and changing. "Why have you come to the sacred source?" the figure asked in a spooky voice. Asha was brave and stepped forward. "We're from Oakhaven. Our waterfall is drying up and our people need help. We came to find out why." The spirit looked at them carefully. "If you want to reach the source, you must pass 3 tests. The test of truth, the test of giving up, and the test of working together. If you fail, the mountain will keep you forever. If you succeed, you'll learn the truth." The test of truth came first. The fog separated the 3 friends, and each one had to face their biggest fears and mistakes alone. Kaelan saw a vision of a time when he had changed a true story to make it more exciting. He cried as he admitted he had been wrong and promised to always tell the truth from now on. Torven saw the ghost of a beautiful deer he had killed just to show off, not because he needed food. He knelt down and said, "Sorry," promising to teach young hunters to respect all animals. Asha saw a terrible future where she couldn't save the waterfall, and Oakhaven became an empty, dusty place. But instead of giving up, she said, "This hasn't happened yet. I will learn what I need to learn and do whatever it takes." When the fog cleared, the 3 friends found each other again. They all looked different somehow. Their skin marks seemed brighter and clearer.
The test of giving up came when they reached a narrow stone bridge over a very deep canyon. Halfway across, the old bridge started to crack and break. They realized it couldn't hold all 3 of them. I'm the heaviest, Torven said. You two go on without me. But Kaelan said no, we stay together. He pulled out his most special carved figures, ones he had spent years making, including one of his father who had died, and threw them into the canyon. The bridge got a little stronger. Asha understood what to do. She took off her special water bottles that her grandmother had given her and dropped them into the darkness. The bridge got even stronger. Torven took his hunting bow, which had belonged to his family for 7 generations, and let it fall too. The bridge became solid again, and they all crossed safely. We gave up things, Asha said when they were safe. But we kept each other. Maybe that was the real test. The test of working together was waiting at the very top of the mountain. Where the source of the waterfall should have been, they found only dry rocks and a huge dead tree. A small child was sitting at the bottom of the tree, but something about the child seemed very old and strange. "Why are you crying?" asked the child, even though the child was the one with tears on their face. "We are sad because our waterfall is dying," Kaelan said gently. "I cry because everyone forgot about me," the child said. "I am the spirit of the source. Long ago, your people would visit me. They would sing special songs and bring gifts, but they stopped coming. They forgot the promise between the mountain and the village. So I got weaker, and the water I gave you got less and less." Now the 3 friends understood. The test wasn't just about them working together. It was about the village and the mountain working together too. "Please teach us the songs," Asha begged. "We forgot them, but we want to learn again." The child's eyes got a little brighter. "You can't learn them from just me. You must use your gifts together." The child pointed to a circle of old stones around the dead tree. Kaelan started telling the oldest story he knew, one his great-grandmother had told him when he was very small. As he talked, his feather marks began to glow, and shadowy pictures appeared in the air, images of long ago when the tree was green and full of life. Asha knelt by the dry rocks and put her hands where water should be. She hummed the water songs her mother had taught her. Slowly, tiny drops of water appeared on the stones. Torven understood what to do. He began to dance, a special hunter's dance, to say thank you to the mountain. As he danced, his bear marks seemed to come alive, and the ground under his feet started to turn green. As the 3 friends shared their gifts, the child began to sing. It was a song without words that seemed to come from the mountain itself. The dead tree's roots started moving, drinking up the water Asha had called. Its branches, made strong by Kaelan's stories, began to grow leaves. The air, blessed by Torven's grateful dance, became fresh and sweet. Suddenly, water burst out from under the tree's roots. Not just a little water, but a rushing stream that sang the familiar song of the whispering falls. The child grew brighter and more solid. New marks appeared on the child's skin, some like the marks in Oakhaven, and some that no one had seen before. "The promise is renewed," the spirit said, now looking neither young nor old, but timeless. "But you must not forget again. Every season, someone must visit me. Someone must remember. Someone must sing the songs and tell the stories and dance with gratitude. We will," all 3 promised together. "We'll teach others. We'll make sure no one forgets again." The trip down the mountain took only 1 day, as if the mountain was helping them get home fast with the good news. When they arrived, they found the whole village celebrating. The whispering falls were flowing strongly again, and the crops were already looking better. Elder Mira listened to their story with happy tears in her eyes. "We were so busy trying to survive," she said, "that we forgot we're part of the mountain and forest. We're not separate from nature. We're part of it." From that day on, Oakhaven started a new tradition called the season walks. 4 times a year, a group would walk up to the source. There would always be a storyteller, a water keeper, and a hunter. plus anyone else who wanted to come. They would sing the old songs that Kaelan taught everyone. They would do the water ceremonies that Asha showed them. They would dance the gratitude dance that Torven taught. The falls never dried up again. Even better, Oakhaven became happier and richer than ever before. Babies were born with new kinds of marks, showing that the old ways and new understanding were joining together. The forest grew thicker, the harvest got bigger, and the stories became more wonderful. Kaelan kept carving, but now he carved figures that showed the journey to the source. That way, even if people forgot the word someday, the carvings would remind them of their promise to the mountain. Asha became the youngest elder that Oakhaven ever had. She taught everyone about how water and spirits were connected and helped the village through both floods and dry times. Torven created new hunting rules that honor the spirit of the source. He taught that whenever you take something from nature, you must say thank you and give something back. And high on the mountain, the spirit of the source grew strong and happy, fed by songs and stories and thankfulness. The great tree bloomed all year round, its roots deep in the earth and its branches high in the sky, connecting the world of people with the world of spirit. The whispering falls kept singing, and now everyone who listened carefully could understand what it was saying. In the sound of the water, they heard the heartbeat of the land, the voices of their ancestors, and the laughter of children not yet born. They had learned the most important lesson. Being rich doesn't mean taking everything nature gives you. It means keeping a good relationship between people and the land, between stories and spirits, between the whisper of water and the song of thanks that rises to meet it.